Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Nick Underhill, and you're watching The Dot, presented by Matt Bowers Auto Group, joined by my colleague, Mike Triplett. This is the weekly mailbag. If you are signed up for NewOrleans.Football, make sure you get into our Twitter community. You can ask questions for this, talk to other Saints fans, and get a little bit more insight on what's going on with the team. Today, our first question is, why are the Saints not enjoying a bye after next week's game in London?
Well, I don't know if it's their preference necessarily because, as you had heard, the NFL decides that. Maybe they ask for the team's input. We've heard conflicting things on that. But, the benefit, obviously, is the bye week is coming later in this season. With the 18-game schedule now, if you take that bye in Week 5, you have 13 weeks left plus, hopefully, the playoffs. So if they can get through it, then they get to enjoy that, looking forward to it. And then it's 2 home games afterward, so maybe that'll help. The one thing I do know is in the Saints' control is they're still one of the very few teams that likes to go all week long. A lot of teams don't. Minnesota, for example, I think is coming in on Friday. But that's a tried and true formula for the Saints and one that they've always thought. They liked the East Coast trip before, and they like the entire week in London.
Yeah, I think they definitely have their preferences, and it's clear they like to be in Carolina before going to London. But yeah, the league does what they do on these things. And the other thing too, they go there all week. They make the investment in trying to have the best chance for success, and being there for a full week is probably like $1 million trip. So they're doing everything they can to try to succeed over there. I heard they got the biggest jet they could find. Like, it's going to be as comfortable as possible so that these guys go over there and they have the best chance for success. Our next question is, Juwan Johnson has been the leading guy at tight end. We all heard a lot about Adam Troutman. That's the fans saying that, about how well he played in training camp. We saw it. Is there any chance you think that Adam Troutman starts making a bigger contribution in the passing game?
Well, and Taysom Hill should be a big part of this question too, because in week 1 I thought, all right, kind of throw out the tight end usage numbers because they basically spent the last 20 minutes of the game in that hurry-up set that had Juwan Johnson on the field. But again, there's Juwan Johnson, the main pass-catching tight end in week 2 as well, with Taysom Hill, the guy they paid $10 million a year to play tight end, playing very few snaps. I know Taysom Hill was a little banged up, but it feels like Juwan Johnson has surpassed Taysom Hill as the leading guy when they want the pass-catching tight end on the field. Now, Troutman's still going to be out there as their number 1 run-blocking tight end, and as a result, he'll get some catches, but he could finish third in all those pass-catching categories behind Johnson and Hill, I think.
And the last question, how do we feel about the way Marcus Maye and Tyrann Mathieu have looked so far? I'll start on this one. I think they've been pretty good overall. We've seen one coverage bust, but I thought their coverage was extremely disciplined last week against Tampa Bay, and they're doing a lot of different things. There's a lot of moving parts, and if the communication isn't on point, that's the game where everything falls apart. So I feel like they're actually a little bit further ahead than this team was when Malcolm Jenkins first came in here. And that season, we saw coverage bust for about 3-4 weeks into the season. That Green Bay game was really the low point. So far, I think everything has looked really good back there.
Well, and they already faced the ultimate test they're going to face all season, which is Tom Brady. And you've made the point so many times that Dennis Allen has always loved to not let any quarterback, especially Tom Brady, know what they're doing by looking at the safeties, how they're lined up before the snap, and that these guys could even take that to the next level because they're so interchangeable, and it absolutely worked against Tampa Bay. We'll see. The one thing I've wondered is without Marcus Williams, will it lead? Those guys are a little more aggressive. Mm-hmm. Will it lead to a few more deep shots, which wasn't really going to be either Marcus Mariota or Tom Brady's game? Maybe we'll see that when they're in London going against Kirk Cousins trying to throw the ball down to Justin Jefferson. But yeah, for it to be as clean as it has through 2 weeks, you make an excellent point. That's when you'd expect it to be the most clunky.
Yeah, so I think the one thing we haven't quite seen from them yet is the dynamic plays. And I think those are going to come at some point. We'll get some more interceptions, forced fumbles. We saw one of those already. So I think they're going to be a little bit different, but I think so far everything looks pretty good back there. The defense is not the thing that I think either one of us are really worried about right now. We'll be out in Carolina for this week's game, then the whole crew's going to London, so keep it locked to NewOrleans.Football.